Celeste, a game that would change the word platformer forever. Celeste is a platformer that was created in 2018. The challenge of the game is to climb the mountain, but it's not as easy as you think. Sure, it's not as difficult as any games like Dark Souls or Cuphead, but it still has its own difficulty rating. In the case that you do end up needing help in a level, there is an assist mode that will help you complete the level with less challenging obstacles. But why a mountain, and why a platformer? You're about to find out. In the game, you take place as a redhead teenager named Madeline. You meet all kinds of different people, including not only Theo, the old woman, and even Mr. Oshiro. There is one antagonist in the story, but becomes a protagonist by the end of the story called Madeline. She's the dark side of Madeline. We'll get more into her in a minute. Theo is a fellow mountain climber that meets with Madeline on the first stage. He came to the mountain just to climb it. He didn't expect to reach the summit, but Madeline did. But she faced a problem. Here we introduce Madeline. She's the antagonist in the story, not only because she holds Madeline back, but also can push her all the way down the mountain. She has a gloomy emo kind of like appearance, and can be quite frustrating at some times. But Madeline is just an anxious and worried version of Madeline. That's why they call her part of me, because it's part of Madeline. I feel like the message of this game is that you should create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. I would rate this game an 8 out of 10 on the difficulty scale, mainly because it is not impossible, but it does present quite a challenge in some levels. I think that this game clearly shows that Madeline is depressed, and climbing this mountain will just make her feel better about herself. And I think this is a perfect example of why a platformer was used, because as she goes up the mountain, her self-esteem becomes higher and higher, because she knows that she'll be able to make it to the summit one day. The mastermind behind the game Celeste is Matt Thorson. At the time of making the game Celeste, Matt Thorson was at a state where he didn't know where he wanted to be, kind of like Madeline's position. Since then, he's overcome his obstacles and is living a happy life. There was DLC that was just recently released in September 2019. The DLC presents a new chapter called Farewell. I have yet to play it, but I plan on playing it soon, so I'll keep you guys updated, and hopefully I can make a part 2. But let's get into the happy part of Celeste, and why it's such a good game. I've never really understood why platformers are so addictive, but they really are, and they're an extremely fun type of game to play. Progressing from each stage to each stage, you gain a better understanding of how the story percepts, wanting to go farther, until you reach the end. I'm just gonna say, personally, I think this is one of the most fun platformer games that I've ever played before. I won't ever forget some of the main characters in the story, like Madeline or Madeline. It will forever go down as one of the best platformers, and definitely one of the best stories in history. Celeste has been out for over 2 years now, and if you haven't played it yet, I strongly suggest that you go and play it. Let's just say you won't ever forget the story of Celeste.